week, and we have the best of our bakers lined up all this week to share a favorite new cookie recipe.
Look at that thing right there. It is mammoth. And today, cookbook author Wendy jumped on board the stuffed cookie trend that we were just telling you about. She's making this double chocolate stuffed peppermint cookie. Were you inspired by the Rachel Ray magazine?
I think they were inspired by me.
That was it.
Because I've always said it's what's on the inside that counts.
You have always said that.
I have always said that. So, no, I don't know if she was really inspired by me, but I'll say she was today. So I came up with this great stuffed cookie. I was thinking, you know, I love biscuits. How about like a sweet biscuit cookie stuffed with something? So that's how I came up with this double stuffed peppermint cookie.
Is it biscuit or cookie?
You make it like a biscuit.
Oh.
And that's why cold butter is so important.
Well, talk to us about this cold butter.
All right, so cold butter. When you bake cookies, oftentimes people will complain that they are flat, they're see-through, you know, you don't get that tall, puffy cookie that you want. I love tall cookies, chewy cookies. So a key to most cookie recipes is if you cream your butter, if your recipe calls for creaming butter, it's important to put your cookie dough back in the fridge before you bake it. For most recipes, I'd say 95% of them, put it back in the fridge. Overnight is best, but 1 to 2 hours is good before you bake it. That gets that butter chilled again, so you don't get that flat cookie.
I'm laughing because Levain Cookies, have you ever heard of those in New York? I went with some girlfriends a couple months ago, and their cookies are huge.
Really,
I mean,
really
the kind
tall.
you're talking about, the tall, you know, non-flat, just moist, yummy cookie.
Yep.
And my friend said, I heard the secret is cold butter, and I thought it was just one of those.
No, it's really true. And so just planning ahead, making your cookie dough the night before, putting it in the fridge, bringing it out the next morning and baking it. That will take just your cookies to the next level. It really will. So this recipe is like a biscuit. So what I did is I put all my dry ingredients in, the baking soda, baking powder, because we want it to be taller, the flour, the cocoa, and the sugar. Mix that all together. I'm just gonna quickly whisk it. Or I don't have a whisk, I'll use a fork. How about that? Just quickly bring it together. And then what you're gonna do is you're going to add the cold butter. And I cut it into chunks. It's 2 sticks of butter. So, you know, it's Christmas holiday and butter was on sale and it's still on sale. So you can go and get some, stock up your fridge. I have like 25 pounds of butter in my fridge for the holidays.
See, I'm not the only one.
I know, and I'm so grateful for people like you too. If the butter's cold, how do you mix it in well?
With a pastry cutter.
That's like a pain, isn't it?
Well, no, not if you want a good cookie, all right? So you're just gonna cut it. Do you see, you just push it down and cut it into the flour. That leaves pea-sized chunks is what you're going for, so something small.
That's the key to like
take a minute.
Because they have like little chunks of butter that aren't mushed in.
Little chunks of butter that aren't mushed in, okay? So it just takes a few minutes to put together. All right.
And you can't do this like with a stand mixer or...
No, you need to do the pastry cutter, and they're available. They're like $2 at the store.
Remember who we're talking to and dealing with. This is the queen of all things great. So we just go with whatever she says.
Just do whatever I say.
She says pastry cutter, I say yes.
So if your pastry cutter gets full, take a fork or a knife and just kind of scrape it off and keep going. So it'll take a few minutes. My son likes to do this when I make biscuits. It's his favorite part. So give the job to one of your kids and just make sure that your butter gets into small pea-sized chunks, okay?
Is the rest of it sort of basic like a regular cookie dough?
Yeah, rest of it's basic. So once you do this, you're gonna add your half and half, yummy. You're gonna add your eggs and your vanilla. And then you can mix it with a mixer, or I just used a wooden handled spoon, just so I don't overmix my cookie. That's very important for cookie baking too, don't overmix. And then I wanted to point out, this recipe, you could use cinnamon, but I found this wonderful, smell it, Brooke. It's a wonderful floral cinnamon blend.
That's delicious.
I know, it just adds a little bit more.
I wasn't sure what it was, because it wasn't pure cinnamon. It's a different kind of edge.
It's got cinnamon and lavender and orange peel and then rose hip.
That is amazing.
Isn't that amazing? So that's just one more way to make your cookie pop a little bit more.
Where in the world do you get that stuff?
I found that at Honeyville Farms. It's called Wise Women of the East. It's a special spice blend they carry.
Yum.
Fantastic, worth it. It's good in like pumpkin pie. I did pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving and put that in it.
Anyway, where does the inside, the stuffed center come from?
So stuffed center comes from. Okay, we've mixed it all together. All right, this is what it looks like.
That's my kind of cookie.
Isn't that great? So a big scoop. This is the size scoop. It's really like an ice cream scoop. I used to scoop it because you want it to be big, that quarter-pound size.
It's a cookie scoop. Okay.
I know. Today we're going to use it as a cookie scoop. And then I just unwrapped the peppermint patties. You guys want to grab one?
Okay.
Okay, so I just take it and I flatten it in my hand.
Like we're making hamburger patties.
Just like you're making a hamburger patty, exactly.
I always wanted to work at McDonald's and I
know.
I don't think they do this.
This is better.
No, but this is better, okay? Then you take a peppermint patty, and I just use the small ones. You're gonna place it right in the middle.
Okay.
Just like that. Then take this and kind of wrap it back up. Just take the edges and fold it over. And then you're going to kind of mold it into a ball again.
Oh.
Okay? Because we want it to be tall.
Yep.
Now, another thing. It's going to go back into the fridge or freezer. You want this to be cold and chilled. See, it's a little bit warm. That's like room temperature. So you mix it together. You scoop it out, make it into a patty, put the peppermint on it. Yep, your hands do get a little sticky, and that's okay. Once you've cooled this, I'd say 1 to 2 hours in the fridge or 20 minutes in the freezer. You're going to bake it at 350 for about 15 to 17 minutes.
Okay.
And this is what you get. This yummy, delicious big cookie.
Oh.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Wendy.
Break it open.
Break it open.
There it is.
Okay, so there it is. Nice, thick, chewy. You'll notice there's so much cookie. It's just tall and thick all around that peppermint patty. That's what you want.
I'm excited to try it.
Yeah, that looks fantastic. This is just cookie number 2. Remember, this entire week, we're looking at all sorts of fantastic cookies, getting ready for cookie swaps and giving to your neighbors.